So let's go back to block 4. So discussion pages. Now, discussion pages are very, very important. One thing we got to understand about all the Wikimedia project is that 90% of the content that's written are actually discussions about how we will write content on Wikidata, or actually Wikipedia is the same thing. So there's really, really, really more information in those projects about people discussing how the end product will be. So let me show you here. First of all, we're going to look at the discussion page for people, because there is discussion page usually at a lot of places. So like here, we have this user page, and we see we have discussion. So this is my user page, Antoine. So if someone in a wiki project wanted to ask me a question, this is where they would go. So they would choose discussion after going to me. And then this is someone who had a question about Indian cinema personality. So he wrote me, he started a new topic. Hi, I want to tap it. So, and then he writes the message into here, and he adds the topic, which creates a new topic. And then we can reply to this, like there's a box here, and you can reply to this conversation. So this is really, really helpful, because you can go and ask people, if someone comes and do some particular modification to an item, and you want to understand why he done so, then this is perfect. This is the perfect place, the user page of the person, to talk about it. There's a lot of places where there's discussion pages. So now we've seen here, this is about my user. There's discussion page in every project. So Wikipedia, Wikicommons, you always, with all the items, there's always a user, a talk page related to that. So, oops. So now project chat. There's a place for into Wikidata for general questions. So it's called project chat. So if we go here into project chat, you can see that you can start a new discussion, and you can see that there's a lot of discussion, and you can actually read the discussion people are having. It's a great way to learn about Wikidata and some particular error merging two items. So you see this person had a problem with merging. So he'll explain here his problem. And you can see that when you're writing, you actually sign and it shows your name. There's a link to your user page talk. And there's also the date when that was done. So this is very helpful to see how people are what question they have, and there's actually conversation with a lot of person that can offer into Wikipedia or Wikimedia projects. So Wikidata also. So this is the project chat, which is very interesting if you have some questions. Now, this is something that's going to be very important for us. It's the Wikidata project, because this workshop, this series of workshops is oriented to make you be better Wikidatian, so people that use Wikidata. So we want to make you better, but in the particular field of performing arts. So these are projects where people in Wikidata that are interested about performing arts, well, they can find information about that. And so we see here we have a project about cultural venues. So this is building places where cultural events are occurring. We also have actually a project about cultural events. So how do we describe a cultural event? Well, this information is going to be here. There is a Wikidata theater project that was started a long time ago, but it's actually now in the process of being merged with the Wiki project performing arts. So and there's also a Wiki project about music. So if you have particular question about those kind of data related to those subjects, then you can go into the projects and you will have more information. So one thing you can do if you want to really get involved into project is you can become a participant in the project. There's also discussion particular to that project. So people ask questions, but on the theme of the project. So this is very important. You can see here we have a header of a project. So, but let's go here and see one project. So here we see the headers. Personally, there's this is very, very important section, the data structure, because actually you can find information on how to use, which properties to use, how to use your property in this section. So there was the Julian question earlier on about properties for an organization. I'm going to talk to them in a next workshop, in another workshop. But if you want by yourself into that data structure section of the Wikidata project performing arts, you can see that oh, okay. So you can see here that all those are all properties that you can use. So just give me 2 seconds here. Excellent. So Heather, you're now in. Okay. You're asking me, Julian, for the URL, but actually in the PDF you have the link here for performing arts and all the other projects. And if you go into the project, the header at the top of the project will always show the same, most of the time show the same thing. So home is the first page, but data structure of the project is where you will find this information. So you will always find it by yourself. So you understand this block is about how can you, what tools can you have for yourself that you don't need nobody else to use, and that you can get to enhance your abilities into Wikidata. Of course, you can ask questions, so there's other people related, but this is something you're autonomous, you don't depend on anybody. You can get the information by yourself. So projects are a very, very important place in this series of workshops. We will come back to those a lot of the times. And there's also the tutorials. So the tutorials are more general and basic explanation about features of Wikidata, which is actually a bit, there's a lot of stuff that we're covering here minimally, but they will also cover it in a, so here you see about items, the Wikidata items creation. You also have here Wikidata statements. There's a tutorial for that. You've got a tutorial just for the references that I talked earlier on. So this is more thorough than me, and there's a lot more information. So I encourage you to go by yourself and look at that if you're interested. Okay, so also for the tutorial, this is an interesting tutorial because next workshop we're going to look at Sparkle, the Wikidata query service, which is actually a Sparkle server. But if you want to learn about that by yourself before the next workshop, this is a very, very, very interesting page where you can go. And this is actually the Wikidata query service where you can enter a search request in a particular language, and you can trigger the search and it will give you the results. But all of this is going to be explained in the Sparkle tutorial, which is very, very well done. And it starts simple, but gets you to be pretty good. So anyway, we're also going to cover that by ourselves. But if you want to understand okay, so we're now at the end of block 4.